What is going on, everyone? My name is Jason, and this is 1 month with the Google Pixel 3a. Okay, so it's been a month of me testing out this guy, the Google Pixel 3a, Google's newest phone offering, which in a weird way is almost a throwback to the Nexus phones Google used to make, given its very affordable price tag. Now, as amazing as that price is, it does come with some pretty noticeable cutbacks. I mean, you got a plastic build, no IPS rated water resistance or wireless charging, and a processor that can be characterized as mid-tier at best. But on the other side of that coin, you get some seriously outstanding features that seem almost too good to be true on a phone that costs $399. You get the promise of the universally praised Pixel 3 camera quality, pure stock Android, and near the same functionality of the much more expensive flagship. So after a month of really putting this phone through the ringer, I wanted to circle back with you guys to go over how my experience has been with the Pixel 3a. It's not going to be a traditional product review going over all the specs. If you're looking for that, I'll leave a card to that in the upper right hand corner. But rather, this video is going to be much more of me sharing my experience and thoughts while using the phone and trying to answer the fundamental question. After 1 month with the Pixel 3a, is it worth it? Now, before we get into the review, if you're into checking out the latest consumer tech products before you buy them, or if you're just a tech head like me, I make a video like this every single week, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell icon so you can be the first to know when a new JSL review is out and you don't miss anything. And real quick, I know it's not an apples to apples comparison, but if you had a choice, which phone would you go with and why? The Pixel 3a or the iPhone XR? Curious to see which phone most of you go with? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so that being said, let's get into the Pixel 3a. Okay, so the first thing that I want to touch on that was super surprising to me was just how much I enjoyed the build quality of this phone. Yes, you heard me right. I like the polycarbonate design of the Pixel 3a. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you and say that the Pixel 3a feels premium in the hand or that it even feels substantial compared to most flagships out there, but no lie, there's something comforting and almost freeing about having a plastic phone again. I guess I never realized the amount of anxiety I had when using phones like the iPhone XS Max, which is a super expensive glass-on-glass accident waiting to happen, and as someone who's gone through the tragedy of cracking their display once before, I think I'm always freaked out that it might happen again. So having this rugged, no-frills build on the 3a is kind of a breath of fresh air. And the silver lining here is that the phone doesn't feel or look bad. In fact, it's really well executed. You still get the textured matte finish that contrasts with the polished top portion of the phone, the buttons are clicky and tactile, and Google was able to make the 3a virtually indistinguishable to the eye from the Pixel 3. So ultimately what you have is a phone that not only could take much more of a beating, but one that also maintains that ultra utilitarian basic Pixel look and feel. It doesn't come off like a cheap knockoff in any way to me, in case you were concerned. Okay, the other aspect of the phone that I want to talk about that has been surprisingly good is the Pixel 3a's display. The phone is rocking a 5.6-inch OLED display with a resolution of 2220 by 1080. Honestly, nothing to get excited about in 2019, but it's a fantastic display to have on a phone that's so affordably priced. The colors are vibrant and accurate, HD video consumption is really enjoyable, and it being an OLED, it has excellent contrast with its inky blacks, and overall, it's a really solid panel. And I guess my point here is that even though this display is pretty vanilla in terms of what's available in smartphones today, I think it's fair to say that it's pretty quality for a phone at this price range, and to me it was a good idea for Google to not cheap out on the display, as I think it would have made the entire phone feel second tier to a lot of people. And look, I know the forehead and chin on the phone is probably the thing that makes the Pixel 3a look the most dated. I wish it was less jarring, but in all fairness, you really don't notice it that much when you're using the phone. And hey, at least no notch, right? Okay, so I think the most important aspect of the Pixel 3a, especially in terms of day-to-day use, is going to be performance. As Google decided to go with the Snapdragon 670, there were a lot of concerns that such a mid-tier processor would significantly impact the phone's ability to perform at speeds majority of folks in 2019 are used to. Well, after a month of use, I'm happy to say that I haven't experienced any major performance issues up to this point, and I'm surprised just how smooth everything still runs. Stock Android navigation is quick and stutter-free, apps load fast enough to where I don't consciously notice any lag, and though I don't game often, when I do, it's no problem. Now, I'm not gonna say that the Pixel 3a is the fastest phone out there. You will notice things like rendering portrait mode photos or editing photos does take longer to do, but it's not to the extent when it becomes frustrating or intolerable by any means, especially when you remind yourself that this phone only costs 400 bucks. Now I think the true test here requires time, as I'm curious to see how the Snapdragon 670 holds up to software updates and more spec-intensive apps, but so far, the Pixel 3a performs really well. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, hands down the main reason why most people are going to pick up this phone, is the camera. The Pixel 3a camera is a thing to note because Google claims that it'll give you the same outstanding level of image quality that the flagship Pixel 3 has. This is particularly special for me because this is my first Pixel device, and man, the photos that you can get on this phone are incredible. I mean, I was legit blown away at the level of quality this plastic $399 phone is able to produce, and no lie, it's definitely some of the best image quality I've seen on any smartphone. Images are razor sharp, colors are punchy and accurate, and the image, once it's processed by Google software, almost never requires any editing. It's often exactly how I want the image to look. Portrait mode photos are particularly good, as Google has been leading the software trick for quite some time now. Edge detection is on point, both on the front and back camera, and overall, Google wasn't lying. The image quality on the Pixel 3a is just as good as the Pixel 3, and this fact alone makes this phone really interesting. Okay, so at the end of 1 month, I can say this with confidence. I think the Google Pixel 3a is the best budget phone available today, period. It packs such an incredible amount of value in a phone that in today's standard is essentially a third of what flagships are going for. The camera quality speaks for itself, you get stock Android that performs great, and a good enough display that doesn't leave you disappointed. And I said this before, but I truly think Google's approach of using a plastic body and an older processor, though it may have come off a bit worrisome, was ultimately the right move. It gets the cost of the phone way down, and when it comes down to it, you still get a really enjoyable user experience with all the things that you truly want in your phone. But hey, that's my opinion, and I want to hear from you guys. Curious to get your thoughts on the Pixel 3a. Do you guys think that this phone definitely beats out any other phone to make it the budget smartphone king? Or do you think there's another phone out there that tops it? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. Okay, that's about it for this review. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you guys found it useful. It really helps me out. If you guys have any questions about the Pixel 3a, leave them down in the comments and I'll be sure to get to them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.